gamer age thing, I think you can still be well aged and still be able to play an amazing game. I'm not really sure how much age can actually bring into it. Yes, there is the sort of advantage of being quicker when you're younger, but I definitely think just because you are older doesn't mean that you can't still, be a professional gamer. I feel like that's what sets esports and sports slightly different from each other. Esports is so great because people from different ages can still be able to be professional players and still thrive in where they are. But right now, it's not time to talk about age. It's time to talk about our third game, Gideon and Contra, right here. We will be talking about age later between ourselves, don't worry. We've got Resurgence and Team BOSSKURR's blue and red. And Contra, what do you want to say about that?
I've been looking in towards the cameras of the players, and you know who has the most calmest mindset of all of them? It's MLBB. He's basically relaxing on his bed the whole time. We have the mind-boggling series where we hit about 40 minutes, and he's like, "Ah, man, I'm just gonna be playing from my bed." And of course, right in towards the sort of draft. Let's get back right in as we're looking at a Chao as well as Kaja getting banned away. Natalia not gonna be seeing the light of day as well. But what's being constant for the side of RSG is this pick here, which is the Selena. So I wonder once again, who's gonna be playing this one?
I honestly don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see until they decide to, assign people to their heroes once the draft is done. But as of right now, it looks like it's still a pretty open draft. They haven't really landed on anything too solid just yet. But Resurgence, they could go for something risky, but instead they actually go for something very, very safe. They want to net the win. They're going for the Uranus and the Claude.
Of course, if it's not broken, you don't have to make any amendments at all. Now, towards the side of Lacia. Of course, it's going to be very tricky on what he should be playing here before we get ourselves in towards the following stage of the picks and bans. But they are opting to take this Brock away from Resurgence. So, what do you feel about this? Which means that BOSSKURR most likely will try to actually eliminate even more of those sort of the threat coming through from those tanks.
I totally agree, and Team well, I feel like Team BOSSKURR is kind of in their playing the meta in their own way. They value high loss. Resurgence, we haven't seen them play high loss too often yet, but then again, there is the new patch that just came in as well, so it's kind of hard to say whether or not this is actually a smart ban from Team BOSSKURR or not. But regardless, it's a situational ban, and that's what the second phase of the pick bans are for.
And now we're already seeing high loss banned out. BOSSKURR could have actually, well, not exactly. They've already got the jaw hit as well as the Grok. So they seem to be banning what they used to use previously coming from BOSSKURR. But now, of course, opening things up, they can go for a mage if they want to. But what would be optimum here, Gideon?
Well, I think as of right now, I think the fighter role is pretty obsolete for the side of Team BOSSKURR, so they're gonna lock it in first, so just in case they need to counterpick the Esmeralda against the Uranus and the Uranus as well as the Claude, because both of them develop shields. So, Team BOSSKURR, they're just holding on to their mage pick till the very, very end. Resurgence could respond with their stealing away the Esmeralda. It wouldn't be optimal, but we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Oh, wow.
Carmilla has been a hero that we've seen banned or picked a lot actually during the regular season. It's good to see her back if it does happen, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I think the nerfs. Yep, I think the nerfs to Carmilla is just has definitely hurt her. Without the movement speed, she can't really just run around people all day long. So Resurgence decide to go for the Kufra and stick to what they know. Farsa comps.
Yo, wow. And we haven't seen this for quite some time. And the Indonesian meta did bring forward the Aurora coming in. So, what do you feel about this, Gideon? It seems like you do approve of this for Team BOSSKURR.
I kind of approve of it. I do feel like the Valir might be a little bit better. Kinda, sorta, maybe, but the Aurora is just a really great way, especially with the cold destruction. She just has to stand at the very edge of that feathered airstrike just to stop her from, putting more damage into the team. You know, drop that ultimate, walk away, and just pray to God that Jason decides to give up on his position.
Yeah, now down to the final battle between both Team BOSSKURR versus Resurgence here. We're about to witness one of this team advancing in towards the upper semifinals, while somebody will have to fall in this nature of the competition in the MPL Season 5. And of course, for us, you gotta take a pick here. Who do you think is gonna win this one?
That's such a hard thing to say, but for me, I think I actually prefer Resurgence's draft, personally. If they manage to pick off a few kills early on, and I still think Uranus is such a great pick going into this meta still. We saw that in the previous game, and hopefully we can see the Uranus protecting the entire team alongside with the Kufra, but we'll just have to wait and see. I'll want to pass it to you guys right now.
I mean, honestly, for us, you know, with Uranus being almost literally the hitbox of the size of a planet, I cannot imagine him not being able to do the job.
Yeah,
I agree with you, bro.
Of course. We are looking at the Uranus, of course, clearing the way the fastest, heading in towards the corners here. Maybe we'll be able to proxy as well, but both sides are actually defending their buffs relatively well, while LY4 will be able to actually secure this one in the back for sure. A little bit of that sort of respect for territory, as both sides really don't want to take too heavy of a hit, but Sana does receive too much of that damage though.
Yeah, he is very susceptible to a dive here. I would expect Team BOSSKURR to actually look to punish this on Uranus' side, but, you know, we'll see whether or not they reach the level 4s fast enough to call for the dive.
Of course, now we are looking at Jason, hoping to actually do a little bit something here. Of course, Birds of a Feather does flock together, while KZP looking to actually spot out Jeps, of course, getting greeted with a little bit of that sucker punch. So far, they're just basically farming up. No sort of contest whatsoever within the span of 2 minutes, but that's about to change right here. Jason already hoping to actually steal that sort of room crap away, while KZP here possibly will have to let that slide.
Yeah, you can already see the different style of play coming in from Resurgence here. They're playing a lot more calculated, they're playing a lot more careful, they're giving a lot of respect to Team BOSSKURR here. They're not making rash decisions, they are just playing the game very objective based, and if they get a catch, they get a catch. But you know, I feel like Team BOSSKURR have kind of predicted. Oh, Zaraki getting a great engage onto LY4. He manages to get out with the help of the Battle Mirror image, and Resurgence look to retaliate but don't find anything. Oh man, LY4 just forced to recall instantaneously there.
Yeah, and we're looking at KZP, of course. Some of all these players of Resurgence are just making sure that they do not commit any sort of a flaw in this early game. But so far, we're looking at the gold graph here. Almost bit even, but BOSSKURR is just maybe a couple of $100 richer right there.
Yep, and it's a very small lead, but we're just gonna have to wait and see how Resurgence really wants to punish Team BOSSKURR here, or even the other way around, because at this point, Team BOSSKURR must be really invigorated after their win, and I don't know, these professionals, they like, apparently they really like these long games.
Yeah, of course, we are just hoping to actually get something out of this, but Jason, of course, baiting Sino in towards the trap, while the Predator airstrike has been released, but oh my goodness! It's Jeps here with the first blood, as that really long rotation definitely paid off for them. While LY4 getting himself that boot, so he can easily walk out of sticky situations, while Sana getting a little bit of pressure here. Oh no! KZP hopping right back in, and members of RSG, they are forcing flickers, and oh my goodness me, Jeps with the second kill, and they have gotten 3 kills in the bag, with also Sana and KZP out of this sort of B5.
You know, this is a very new situation. Well, it is relatively new situation for the side of Resurgence here, because usually they're the ones with, especially in this best of 3, they're usually the ones being aggressors, getting those leads. But now, Team BOSSKURR actually have found a lead. Can they push it all the way through and really show Resurgence how it's done?
Yeah, it seems to be that they've definitely run on that high that they have actually acquired from that really long bout, and BOSSKURR hoping to actually advance even further in towards the semifinals, and we haven't seen that for a very, very long time, and this is definitely the best time for them to shine. Already having 3 kills, they are looking to open the top side of the map as well. While KCP trying to actually catch the Rocky, but Leisha, of course, showing a little bit more strength right there. It's Japs there with most of the kills as a tank. It's almost not legal, of course, but hey, look at him. He doesn't care. He's just going to be smacking down over on the side of KZP and just walks away.
Yep, presses that get out of jail card free with a wild charge ultimate, pulling him straight on out. Now, I want to see how Resurgence kind of plays this from behind, because remember, Sana, oh boy, he's not as tanky as he thinks he is, and Sino is in a very good position here, especially since he's so close, but the bait has been coming out. Sino, he doesn't have any options of getting out there. Great flicker coming in for KZP to secure the kill, but the rest of the team, BOSSKURR, looking to go for the punish. This might be a very big fight as they are slowly peeling backwards, looking to disengage, and they only find the Uranus, so they trade 1 for 1. A very nice Abyssal Arrow from Sync landing onto Logan in the back line.
Turtle resurrecting soon.
So that being said, at least they did pull 1 back on track, but here comes LY4 trying to actually survive out of it. Of course, we'll be able to actually hop out in time. Well, Feather Air Strike just to make sure that they're out of this sort of jungle territory, but Jeps can easily just disrupt them from the inside of this brush, while Team BOSSKURR secures their 2nd turtle of the game.
Yep, and now Team BOSSKURR in a very clear lead against Resurgence here, 5k, and I want to see whether Team BOSSKURR, do they have that, finishing power to end this game for Resurgence really, really strong and continue on in the upper bracket while knocking Resurgence down to the lower. Because remember, Resurgence made a huge comeback against Team BOSSKURR within the regular season itself, so it's kind of like reverse karma here for the side of Resurgence.
Yeah, I mean, of course, feels pretty bad in that sort of way, but, well, let's see whether or not the result will still be as such, but, well, LY4 has got himself that Demon Hunter Sword. Now, BOSSKURR is in prime position to actually secure that bottom side of the tower, and it seems like Resurgence will have to give it pretty much for free.
Yep, they just have to give it up. There's nothing they can do. They don't have the positional advantage, and now Zaraki right on top of KZP initially, and now LY4's in trouble. He quickly pops out the Blazing Duet. He gets out with the Battle Mirror Image. The backline's in trouble. Jason dodging the cold destruction from the Aurora. That could have been a really great pickoff for Team BOSSKURR, but Resurgence disengaged from the fight. They need gold, and they just don't know where to find it at this point.
Yeah, right now, with that being said, empty jungles, the only way they can find gold is through the bottom side, which currently is pretty much empty. Santa has already bought enough time from the top side here, while BOSSKURR tries to actually defend for a little while. 2 more seconds to the next Lord. Maybe if they can get a good collapse right here, might just be pretty much giving them a little bit more of that sort of gold lead back in towards that fate.
Yep. And, too easy for Jeps. He's definitely going to have to play a little bit more disrespectful against RSG just to kind of get them into the mindset. And here is the bait. The rest of the team is here. Team BOSSKURR, they come in with a very big cold destruction. Doesn't land on anybody. KZP manages to survive with a sliver of his health. But now, they don't have a hard engager for this turtle. Can they steal this away as Zaraki gets a good catch out to LY4, flickers right into him with the unstoppable force as well. But LY4, quick fingers, gets out of the situation. Team BOSSKURR get themselves another free turtle. Lexia takes a little bit of damage from the feathered airstrike, but BOSSKURR are looking in prime position to take this series away from Resurgence.
Wow, and of course right now they're the ones actually taking about 6.5k if I'm looking at this sort of the goal scores correctly. Of course, love all these players here right now rotating inside. Jason doesn't seem to be able to actually get all too much of all these sort of defensive right? And KZP though is in trouble, and there we have it. and Leisha's gonna be able to actually secure his second kill. Now looking for LY4. He's forcing a flicker away. Only one more tap to actually take out Xeno, but he cannot return back in towards his battle mirror image. Of course, Sync hoping to actually land that abyssal arrow, but it will not hit anything at all.
Yeah, Resurgence is just trying to slow down the bleeding here. Like, KZB had a really good engage there. However, a lot of the spells that help them get out of there. Ooh, a pretty good pick off there for the side of Resurgence. You know, some kind of retribution at the end of the day. But I don't know. This is not looking too great for either side here.
Yeah, of course, Team BOSSKURR not really having the cleanest of play, if I must say, as some of all these sort of these skirmishes look to be pretty great because Jeff was actually leading the pack, and he's actually changing so much of all these things ever since he joined Team BOSSKURR.
You know, he is always going to be that, you know, consistent tank, constant playmaker, innovator himself, and he's really shown off his capabilities in Team BOSSKURR alone. You know, from a team that was struggling to get out of, you know, that the 9th place position within weeks 1 to 3 of the regular season to a team that actually made it into the upper bracket. It's a pretty amazing feat.
I definitely must say that with that being the great acquisition of this first split. Here comes that sort of team fight here. RSG hoping to actually flush out members of Team BOSSKURR. That's going to be a great capture for Leisha, but Leisha goes on the field spree before he goes down, and that's going to be a flicker coming out from the side of Logan as well. And oh my goodness me, LY4 will have to face off against Jeff, but he might actually get those damage done. There is still going to be a tower right in front of them, but I missed out. Who exactly got the Lord?
I'm not entirely sure as well. I was too distracted with what's happening on screen here, but it looks like Resurgence was able to turn this around and steal the Lord away, on top of getting 3 kills, profiting 1 kill in trade for 2. So, not bad for Resurgence, and I think this is the moment where they can actually even out the score. Look at that goal lead. 1 bad fight from Team BOSSKURR, and a sacrificial engagement from KZP with a very quick Tyrant's Rage flicker, netting his team a free team fight. Like, wow, really well done from Resurgence here. Team BOSSKURR, they have to defend this, but again, I'm expecting this to be a long game, like a 20-minute game at max.
Oh yeah, look at the pace that they are playing. Things are actually changing. It feels like a little bit of that switchover going on, and KZP, great catch over on towards Xeno as they open up the top side. Now, 5 versus 4. Looking great to actually taking down one more turret, but instead they are looking to rotate towards the bomb side, where the tower is pretty much fractured. They definitely will be able to actually get this in jiffy, but looking at the scores, that one fight, like you mentioned, the difference is only about 1,000 right now.
Yep, they've caught up so significantly off of that one fight. They stayed calm and collected, and they got a really good play coming in from KZP, so well done to them. Team BOSSKURR on the other side, they've got to be a little bit more aware now, because notice that Resurgence have kind of stepped up the tempo, now that they've kind of evened out the score. They're being more aggressive now. They're making sure that Team BOSSKURR can't just walk in and out of the jungle as they please, like Zaraki here, who face checks the brush and gets punished for it. Of
course, so much of all these harsh punishment for the side of Zaraki, and now this comes to a challenge here. Debs now trying to actually force them out while charge being forced away. But oh, great ball coming through! But look at LY4, he's diving on the back, looking for Logan, but he will flicker away. And LY4 eventually bites the dust, but great damage is put out by that main marksman of RSG. Now Xeno is going to be coming right back, but now that they have lost their key member, they are pulling it back from the side of RSG, while Xeno coming in to race through, but there's still going to be Santa going on that split. Just
look at the chase coming in from Team BOSSKURR. Like, they know their win conditions. LY4 is down, and now all they have to do is take everything away from Resurgence to create that lead once more. But look at on the top side here, as Zaraki has to deal with his Uranus, and he doesn't have a lot of options to do so. Sana is dancing circles around him right now, and I don't think Zaraki can fully commit to killing Sana at this point of time. So he's calling the rest of his team.
Oh man, this is going to be a cat and mouse chase, but eventually Santa will be locked out. Oh, purifies it off while he's buying so much time. Look at the rest of Resurgence. They are coming through the bottom side, and now it seems like Santa is going to be safe. Wow.
Yeah, it
Home
looked-
run for
wow.
Sana.
Again, that's the beauty of Uranus. He can get out of a lot of abilities with his ultimate, the Consecration as well. On top of the fact that he has a Purify, I must add that. Because without that Purify, he probably would have gotten caught much earlier into this game. So, you know, as long as Resurgence is running circles around Team BOSSKURR and not allowing BOSSKURR's aggression to net them an objective, I think they can, you know, really come back and maybe even look to backdoor Team BOSSKURR at a certain point of time. Hopefully history doesn't repeat itself.
Oh yeah, and now, of course, this leads me to wonder. That sort of pass change did not nerf Uranus, but it's still pretty much going to be a very prominent tank right now to actually be dealt with by a couple of these or the other picks. But now we're looking at Feathered Asteroid coming on, and Depths kind of bite a little bit too much more than he can chew. And here comes Inferno. He's actually revealing himself with a sort of a blazing duet, and he will get that kill upon Depths. While RSG rushing right in, looking for Logan here, while Cino tries to cut the wave. Cino getting stuck in between. He still has immortality, buying a little bit more time, but the waves are coming right through. RSG now gets the green light to knock on their doors, and RSG will leave it pretty much cracking up in the mid lane. So Rocky falling really low, and Cino now tries to buy a little bit more time. Immortality out, but he will drop for a second time. And now RSG looks for the lower.
Yep, and this is what they... Honestly, I'm a little disappointed because Team BOSSKURR, they should have expected it, but instead, they ended up falling into Resurgence's hands there. But don't worry, they still have another opportunity. They can easily defend this lord considering that they have a carry, and this is only the first... the second Luminous Lord of the game. So it's still, you know, still manageable. After the second one, it gets a lot harder.
Yeah, it gets even rougher as it goes, and of course, Alive so far he actually times his ults very, very well in towards those fights, and so far none of the members will be able to actually catch Sync currently, as Team BOSSKURR is now struggling to defend their waves here. A lot of all these sort of the minions are coming through the mid as well as bottom side, and with the Lord as well. They are actually balancing the waves all too well, and Resurgence here, ticket to book for the semifinals.
Yep, it looks like they're trying their very best to do so, and you can see KZP in the back just making sure he's face-checking those brushes by trying to engage in just in case somebody's there. And now they're gonna crash all the waves together here as they look to try and end this game. They're allowing it to go by. However, that's not the idea. They just want to take inhibitor turrets. They're not looking to force the they're not going to force the crystal. They're just gonna play like, you know, very, very methodically, very, very textbook. No risks taken, only profit.
Oh yeah, speaking of profit here, that will be a big profit to take down Zeno with a mega kill going on, and Sana right in towards the back line, and another one bites the dust as Sync gets his killing spree, and now we're looking at RSG will be able to actually advance in towards the upper bracket semi-final.